welcome everybody to September's Coachbowl. Cannot believe we're already in September. I want to welcome all of our coaches. I want to welcome our newest coach, only 1 hour into the helping hand. From so much for joining us. It's great to have you. Tonight, we have Melanie and Regina as our coaches. And then, surprise, we're going to have Barb jump in as our third coach tonight and bring us home and just, show us some awesome coaching. Is our client tonight. She is coming to us. She's also a new coach in the Helping Hand, and she's coming from Mexico City, Mexico. So we're so happy to have her with us as well. Just for those of you that don't know how this works, each coach will have 10 minutes to coach the client. We do not go through the process of establishing the coaching agreement, which would be asking, as IPEC teaches, the 5 questions. What are we going to talk about today? How will we know we're successful? What do you think's getting in your way? That's establishing the coaching agreement, right? We're not going to do that because it chews up a lot of time, and the whole idea behind this is for coaches to coach. So we're going to jump right into that. But what we will do is we'll spend just about 5 minutes listening to Simone about what she's going to be coached around today. Before we even start, I want to give Barb the floor to talk about what she's looking for in our coaching and just remind us about where we should be focused. So Barb, take us away.
I know you've all heard it a million times, so I'll keep it nice and short, but my favorite skill is validation. So I'm going to be looking for those validations, and it's a validation of the feelings. So if you're not sure what feelings are showing up in this client, then you get to ask, so what feelings come up when you hear yourself say these things or something like that? And the validation is always about normalizing the feelings, not the situation. So you definitely want to name the feeling. It's understandable. You feel XYZ. Put in the feeling, sad, anger, whatever, confusion. Don't say it's understandable you feel that way, because you really want them to know they were heard. And then the because, and that's the acknowledgement of the situation. Okay. So there's that. There's the usual, the open-ended empowering questions. So for this, it's just, I'm going to be calling out, I may interrupt and have you switch to, if you're asking a question with closed-ended, a yes/no question, I may jump in there. And it's just for habit. We really want to get out of the habit of the yes/no questions. So there's that. I think it's also about really being present with the client. So there's so much that you have learned through the IPEC program, a million zillion tools you could use and all that. And I'm going to have you kind of take a deep breath, set that aside, be present with the client, really listening. That's the greatest gift we can give the client. Let go of the idea that you have to have the most brilliant question. Sometimes silence is the most powerful tool we can have. If you feel stuck, you yourself can take a couple deep breaths. So that's all I wanted to say about that. And I also wanted to let everybody know, if I could, Greg, just say 2 words about my...
Yes, I'm so excited to hear that you have another event coming up. So please tell us what's going on in October.
Yeah, it's just this, my class called Art of the ELI. So I teach an alternative method for interpreting the ELI assessment, and it's much deeper. There are many more insights. You're using your intuition. You're actually kind of creating your own script. So the flow of the debrief is much smoother. And clients are always saying, how the heck did you know that about me? So it's really kind of fun. So it's doors open again October 5th. I'm going to do a registration week, September 28th. And I'll be doing some free webinars, like 3 tips to magical ELIs. So I'm just going to put in the chat my email and the website you could go to if you're interested in checking it out. Okay. Yeah.
Barb, I was just going to ask, if they register, is there a way they can email you and let you know that they're a member of the Helping Hand?
Yes, that'd be great, because I am going to offer a discount to Helping Hand members. Beautiful. Absolutely. Yeah.
Hey, we've got so many new coaches in the room. I just wanted to introduce Barb. Barb is she's IPEC grad, but not only that, she was a lead instructor for IPEC for, Barb, was it 7 years?
10 years.
G10 a
I
day.
know.
So, Barb also has obviously her own coaching business that she does, but her sweet spot has been the Eli. She has mastered this and has really, we all experienced the clunkiness maybe of the debrief of the Eli, and she's made it so much easier to really get to the nitty gritty on those things. So she is really, when we say master practitioner, we have Barb's picture next to that word. So she's phenomenal. So check her out. She's also a member of the ICF, right, Barb?
Yes.
And yeah. And so
Yeah.
at the PCC.
PCC, I have about, I don't know, I'm close to probably 4,000 hours now. It's ridiculous.
So there
It's dumb.
just wanted to give y'all a little background because some of you may not know Barb. Open your chat window because as the coaches are coaching our client tonight, Simone, as you're thinking things, we want to hear it. I'm going to send out this chat when this is over with the recording. And it's a great way to just mirror those up and relearn what we've gone through here. So open up your chat windows. Feel free to say what's on your mind. If you think this is what I would have asked, show it. And Barbara's also, until she starts coaching, she's going to prompt us with questions like, where is she? Why can't she get over this hurdle yet? Or, things like that. So Simone, please unmute yourself. Give us, if you can, 5 minutes or less about what you want to be coached around. And as soon as that's finished, Regina, just jump right into the session. I'm going to switch you over to speaker view. So you're going to be front and center during this. So, all right, it's all yours, Simone.
Okay, thank you very much, colleagues. I lead a team of 9 people, and I have 4 direct reports, and one of these direct reports is a manager of other 4. And this manager that reports to me, he is working with me since 1.5 years about. And he was promoted to my area. He belonged to another area and was promoted to mine due to his experience and expertise. And since he has been working with me, I have realized he loses himself on due dates. He don't meet due dates in general. He's not worried. He doesn't give the importance to some tasks that are important for the area. And day after day, I was realizing that he was struggling with several internal processes that we have as define objectives, define goals, and mainly meet deadlines. According we were working together, I realized that he is really resistant to any feedback, not my feedback only, but resistant to feedback from others. For example, we are in a meeting and he is presenting something and other people see, no, this is not going to work, or this is too much complicated in the way you are doing. And he is resistant in, how can I explain you? It's not just one meeting, not just 2 meetings, 3 meetings. He is resistant. He always would like to do in his way. Even if it takes more time, even if it takes more time of the team. For example, I have the people that report to him telling me indirectly that he is asking too much administrative work that maybe could be done in another way and could be done in an easier way. And then I suggest him to check what other ways it can be done, but he simply doesn't. For example, just for you to have an example, we have one report that is a huge list. You just need to, if you'd like to read in an easier way, you just need to do a pivot table. And what he does is ask to his team to copy and paste the values from one table to another instead to do a pivot. Some basic things that suddenly I become frightened because he is a very good instructor. He has very good skills from one side, but there are other skills that he's really basic. And then I started, my energy level with him is starting to going down because of this resistance to coach, to listen others. We work in a collaborative way. One of our values in a company is to sum all brilliant minds and do something better, innovate, because we innovate, we have ideas coming from everywhere, and we are losing this opportunity. And then I proposed him to do coaching, pure coaching sessions, where I don't give feedback, no feedback, just coaching. And I realized that he has this difficulty to define priorities because he is a yes person that needs acceptance a lot. And then he doesn't say no. And then he receives requests, and then he doesn't have time to close all those requests. This was one aspect. Other aspect that I found is that he has that perfectionism, that all the time he would like to do and think and dedicate time for that, but projects don't come away because he works in that process that paralyzes by analysis, and then we don't get results. Then I recommend him because I thought that maybe I could not help him, that probably he had some topics that should be coached externally. I recommend him, please look a company coaching. There are some companies that give us coaching advices to them, to people in general, and he make a quotation. He requested because I sent, but he never submitted the request to participate on an external coaching program. And then what I have seen is that he is resistant to be coached externally. He is resistant to work in teams. He is resistant to leverage all the potential that have the collaboration. I have been trying during the sessions that I have with him, make him evaluate, create awareness on saying no to others, what this is, how this is affecting his progress, and saying yes to everybody. He say yes to everybody just because he wants to be a good guy. He's a good person, a fantastic person in general. How this make damage to his career. And in the last coaching session, I realized that the problem of everything, it's a lack of self-esteem. And when we rise to this conclusion, he started to cry. And this is the overall aspects. Now, projects are delaying. I have been trying to help this person, but projects are still delaying. This resistance to work in teams is something that is becoming more and more complicated. And I have my boss asking me to take a decision. If I should go on trying to save this person, or if he really is not the right person to be in the team. And last week when I had this conversation with my boss, I really feel, I believe that fire a person is a huge responsibility, because this family will be, his wife doesn't work outside. He has a teenage boy that have some kind of deficiency. And for me, it's a huge responsibility for that. On other side, I have the responsibility of the team.
Simone, sorry to intrude on you. I want to ask you, so our coaches can start getting ready to coach, is through this scenario you're describing at work, what are you grappling with today that our coaches are going to be able to help you with? What do you need?
Yes, in the past, during the other coaching sessions, I'd like to increase my energy level on this topic, because the last week I was trying all the time to see what is the opportunity here to be a good leader, etc. I'd like to increase to level 5.
Very good. I feel you, you know, about having your energy up. And the way to do that, it's natural for you to feel low energy when your job is being frustrated. So what have you thought would be the best way to deal with it?
I have been trying to empower him. You are free to do wherever you have the decisions on hand. Because as he has this wish to do my way, I'd like to do my way, okay, do your way, no problem. We just define the vision of the project and the goals. He defined the goals for the project. We define goals quarterly. You define the goals, you define the way, you just let me know how can I support you. This is the approach I thought, because he is an experienced guy for some things. Just let me know if you need help. He doesn't look help.
So
Results are not going there. And then I really don't know what to do with him.
what is the usual procedure when you have such issues?
Look, when we have a new project, usually what we give the vision as a leaders and the goals, and we get inputs from all, and we decide the steps, the actions together, and then we divide who is doing this, who is doing that, and we do weekly follow-ups. And this is the usually, and if I see, I usually empower the team. But if I see that they are struggling and then I came back, how can I help? If I cannot help, who can help? Let's go there. I give resources because I'm not the expert on all topics. I need to trust. And
have you done this? Have you tried to do that with him?
Rephrase. Sorry. You said, have you tried to do any of this last week?
How else do you work with him?
Right.
for example, in this report that I told you, and we have 3 different feedbacks that the way he was doing is not working. My boss gave him feedback, I gave him feedback, and we have another person in the team that is his specialty are analytics and reports. He gave feedback. And I asked him, based on all input that you have, what would you like to change or to improve in this report that you are doing? He told nothing. Are you going on doing the same? And when the person tells me that, I told him, it's okay, you'd like to do this. Have you measured the effort from the team? How your team is feeling about this? No, all the time he has some. No, the team you have too much work in the beginning, but after that it will be fine. Okay, if you'd like to do this, no problem. At the end of the quarter, we are going to check the results that we expect. We have some metrics, but now the metrics are not coming, and I'm stuck on that. What should I do?
What is the standard procedure? If someone is not performing, what do you do?
In fact, usually we work together. I have involved my boss on that because I don't want to take this decision alone, because I'd like him to confirm the same skills or lack of skills that I'm seeing on him for he to also see that if it's not just my perspective. And we usually put a person in a plan. If you are not getting results in 3 months, for example, you are fired, or we try to find another position inside of the company where your skills can be of more value. I have also proposed him. Some months ago, we had some open positions in the other area that were really a match for his skills, and he didn't want to try.
How will keeping him affect your energy in terms of productivity?
Affects my energy because a leader, in my perspective, I have goals for my team, for my area, and we need to reach those goals through the people. And then we define the clear vision, we define the clear goals, we support, we do follow-up, constant follow-up, but I have a commitment with the company with those goals. We all the time try to protect people, bring people that have the right skills, the correct skills to the projects. But if I don't reach goals, my area don't reach goals, I have a problem because my goals are not being also reached. And then how can I explain you? My image also is also being damaged inside the company.
So if you have these challenges, it's natural for your energy to go down. And how do you fix it to get your energy up if you have an unproductive staff?
Yes, I was seeing this situation as an opportunity to grow as a leader. And how can I help? How can I help? How can I help? And I realized that he doesn't want help. And then it's okay. If you doesn't want help, it's also okay. I'm here when you need some help. And I also realized that he doesn't, and then we have bi-weekly reviews of the goals with my boss. And even at that moment, that is the moment to raise the hand and tell this project is not going, we are not going to reach the result at the end of September as promised. That is the moment my boss asks, colleagues, do you see some goal that is on risk? He doesn't raise the hand. And then I ask again, Alexandre, how do you see that you can reach this goal? And then he starts, no, excuses, fear. He has fear. This situation is awful for him also, but he doesn't know how to solve. He doesn't know how to advance.
Could his personal circumstances be affecting your decision?
Rephrase. You said, could this?
Oh. I see that you're very sympathetic about his personal circumstances. And that, in a way, is affecting how you take decisions. Is that the feeling?
Yes, I have one of my strongest values is serving others and helping others. I thought in the beginning that my frustration was because of this, because I'd like to serve and help and he doesn't want my help. And then I understood at some moment that I help him more if I don't help. And I try to see all these as, but I have fear, not fear, guilty, to take a decision to fire someone that is not helping us getting results because of the impact for the life of her person. But on the other side, our relationship also is being affected.
Melanie, that's time. So we're going to shift over from Regina to Melanie.
Thank you.
Simone, hi. can I make an observation? What I think I heard from you when you were sharing. So, man, I could feel your energy. You are a manager over this team. You've got this team, and you care about these people. You care about your job. Your company has this philosophy of all people are brilliant minds, and you have this sense of you want to be with each person, you want to help each person, you care so much. It makes sense that you would feel conflicted because you have these high values, and this man comes in and he seems like he has the skills, but he is not helping your team. He's not helping your team. He's not allowing you to help him. It would appear from his behavior that he doesn't care, but you've even found some reasons you believe is affecting him, and yet he still won't allow you to help him. It makes sense that you would feel frustrated and some anger in there possibly. How does that feel to you?
Yes, this is the discussion that I have with my boss. If he's not helping us to get the results, and we tried A, we tried B, we tried C, and he even refused the offer to pay a $3,000 package of external coaching because he's refusing this, is because this person doesn't want to be helped. And I need to take a decision to remove these people from my team, or by firing, or by talking to human resources and help him to find another position where he can add more value than in my team.
Yeah. So you have this conflict in your brain about you want to do the best. You want to do the best for everybody, the best for your team, the best for you, and the best for this man, and you feel responsible. What feelings are coming up for you when you talk about that conflict that you're experiencing?
One thing that I'd like to have in my team is the psychological safety for them to try and make mistakes and try again. But I never know how much mistakes or delays should be tolerated or accepted inside of this framework of psychological safety. And when it's too much, look, we usually give psychological safety. You can try since we get results. But if you don't get results in a consistent way, and then this is not the best area for you. Now I cannot make this difference. When is how much you should tolerate? What is the limit?
Yeah, so it makes so much sense. You're so caring, and you're so level 4, right? And yet this person is not living by your values, not just yours, but your company's values. He has a place of some responsibility there, and you're basically having to make a decision of keep him or not keep him. Would you be interested in exploring both of those to see how you would feel with each one of those?
Yes, please.
Okay, which one would you like to start with?
I'm going to stop you for a second, Melanie. I know that you asked a closed-ended question to get permission, and I'm going to have you step into your coach power and simply do it. So for a number of reasons, which we can talk about later. So I want to hear what that would sound like.
So let's explore and imagine what you would feel like with each one of these scenarios.
Okay.
So which one would you like to start with?
Let's start with keeping him in the company.
Okay.
Okay.
What feelings come up for you when you think of that?
Feeling in the company keeping him in the team, for me, means go on managing with delays. Go on managing with resistant to feedback or resistant to working in teams. Means to me that I need to make a huge effort in every conversation to increase my energy level and keep me peace, and probably not getting results. This affects my performance as a leader and the performance of the team.
Mhm. And all those different things, the delays, the working so hard to keep at peace and all that, what feelings does that bring for you?
That feeling is awful because I'm so committed. For me, a due date is a due date. If I cannot do, I negotiate before, but I never leave the due date arrive and I try to negotiate. This is the way I feel that I help others more. If I have other priorities, I just look, I have A, B, and C. If you'd like me to do D, then let's negotiate times, due dates here on everything to fit. It's something that I usually do. And for me, it's frustrating when other people don't treat commitments or treat others in a responsible way, are not accountable with. And this means it's hard for me. This means that our relation will be affected. All other delay, because I have seen that this is constant. This is not something. And other thing that happens is that I have in all the meetings to remind how you are going with this task that was committed for this week. How do you feel about this due date? It's feasible for you? And he says, it's feasible. Why you do?
Okay, can I intrude just a minute?
Please.
I feel the frustration that you feel when he is there, because he is not honoring your values. He is not helping your team. He is not helping you. You have this sense of your honor, your integrity, your name. So let's turn it around a minute and let's see now, how do you feel if you think about letting him go?
I would like to talk to human resource to find another position that can fit with his skills. But on the other side, the moment I explain to human resource that this person is resistant to feedback, resistant to collaboration, etc., this doesn't fit with the values of the company. Probably this problem is not only with me. This problem is a problem. He only will feel well in an area that he can work alone without a boss, without somebody that can, because all decisions from others affect him. And then firing him, for me, I feel that as I'm affecting his family.
So when you feel like, so it sounds like you say, if I talk to HR and tell them about him, he does not fit our company ideal person, which means you are essentially letting him go from the company. I see in your eyes a sense of sadness. What other feelings come up there?
Look, in fact, I was thinking about this decision to fire him when he completed 1 year. And due to this pandemic, we decided that it's not moment to fire people now. Let's keep him. And we extended this for 6 months more, evaluation, more coaching, more investment. What I feel is that change doesn't happen in one way quickly when you are thinking about a transformation on, I don't know, limiting beliefs that this person have, his inner critic. Because of this, I suggested him to be coached externally, then we can have extra help for him. He refused help. What I feel is that I have been trying to help you. You don't want help. I cannot do anymore. I feel that.
Sorry, Barb, you're next. Keep going, Simone.
Yes, I feel, yes, I delayed on my decision just because I wanted to try different strategies, try to help him in different strategies, empower him. Now you work alone. If you get results working alone, I'm completely okay. If you don't want help, I'm okay.
Simone, I want to ask you about your energy level, not in terms of the 7 levels of energy, but just how energized are you? How tired are you?
Look, I don't have patience anymore because all meetings with him are, for example, you are not reaching the okay, you didn't do okay. We, in our last meeting, you committed to this, what happened?
Yeah.
And I'm becoming, how can I explain you, frustrated of so many tries.
So how does that affect you when you're frustrated like that? What happens to your energy level in general?
I stay in my mind thinking, what else could I do? What else should I do?
Yeah, and that is an example of problem solving. And so what's doing is putting you up into your headspace. And it sounds like you are taking on a huge burden to solve his problem, to make him feel okay. I have to go to HR. I have to figure it out. I got to make sure maybe I can find another position for him. And I'm wondering how much of this is your responsibility?
Something that I try to think, Barb, is that be detached of his outcomes.
Yeah.
I've been trying. I'm not in charge. I'm here to help. But if you cannot help.
Okay. All right. So let's bring it back to you. Numerous times you have said you feel frustrated. You feel there's almost a sense of anxiety that I'm picking up from you. There's this kind of uncertainty, like, what am I going to do with this situation? But let's come back to you. So, you know, I really want to go to the leadership here. How well do you feel like you're showing up as a leader right now? Scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not a leader at all, 10 being the best leader ever.
Maybe a 7, because with other people in the team, this strategy works. For example, in the beginning, when we hire someone, we are more directive, we are more together, and then I usually do this. According you are going more expertise, I'm leaving you alone to solve problems, make some mistakes, of course, make some mistakes, because you learn from mistakes, and then I empower the person, and the person starts doing, and just we have meetings to do follow-up.
So let me stop you. Let me stop you, because you're going into the story again, and I want to catch you doing that, because what you're actually doing when you do that is it takes you up into your brain so that you don't have to feel the feelings of what's really going on here.
Okay.
And it seems as though, your heart is like exploding, like, I really want to help this guy. I want to be a good person. So who do you want to be as a leader?
He made
not
me,
him, you.
Okay. This situation makes me doubt on my leadership skills.
Okay, so let's come to that. What is going on with you that you are allowing yourself to be in a place that you're doubting your leadership skills?
Because I cannot help him.
Why does helping him equal good leadership?
Because in order to get results, it seems to me that a good relationship is key.
Okay, so there's a difference between support and advocating for one, for someone that is he's like your charge right now. There's also him coming to the plate or coming to the game with more skin in the game, with more energy, and he's consistently not showing up in that way. And so your level 4 heart energy is taking on a responsibility that isn't yours. So what would, I'm feeling you getting really caught up in his story, and I want to come back to you in terms of who you are. So what feelings come up when you hear yourself say, I'm doubting myself as a leader?
That maybe I'm not prepared to lead a team with complex people, or maybe I should have evaluated him better before hiring, that I should really do a better hiring process next time.
Okay. And that's possible. And you are letting his behavior dictate your feelings about yourself.
Yes, you are right.
Okay. What do you know to be true inside you at the core of who you are?
I have seen the last assessment that you did as a team, and there was a sentence like this: Simone is a fantastic leader. It was not me. I didn't wrote. It was someone from my team.
Okay.
And then I have my, how can I explain you, opportunity areas as always. We are all the time trying to, but in fact, I try to be fair. I try to respect.
Who are you? Mm-hmm. Who are you on a deep level, Simone? What do you know to be absolutely true about you?
I am a great leader, Barb.
Thank you.
I am a great leader, and I'm all the time trying. I have this growth mindset because of this trying, evaluating, growing, studying, checking, trying.
Okay. So when you are getting caught up in his story, what it's doing is it's sucking away your energy, and you're getting all caught up in this stuff over here instead of staying in alignment with what you really want and where you really want to go. So this is a classic case of your level 4 heart energy, wanting to help and support him. A leader does not mean propping him up for him to feel okay. A leader means seeing the truth of how well is he fitting with this role right now. And if he's not showing up for you in the leadership that you're trying to do for the team as a whole, that's where there's the intersection of your decisions about what decisions you're going to make. You are not responsible for him.
Yes, I am responsible for team results.
What are you responsible for?
I'm responsible for team results, for the results through this team.
Okay.
To hire the best team, to keep team motivated.
Great. And so forget him for a moment. If you saw there was something in your team that was needing some attention or needing something to be released, what would you do?
I should, as a leader, take hard decisions when necessary.
Okay, and don't should on yourself, my friend. That's not nice. So we can say should as much as you want, but it's kind of like shaming yourself. So if we could rephrase that in a way and take out the fact that you're not responsible for his feelings. He gets to choose his feelings.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's true, and you knew that it was really the best for the entire team, how much easier would it be for you to make a decision?
I should feel more peace in my mind.
What will help you feel more peace in your mind? That's within you, one of your leadership skills.
Evaluate pros and cons.
What? Evaluate what?
Pros, positive things, and pros and cons.
Okay. All right. Pros and cons. Okay. But what else internally for you? What makes you a great leader?
What makes me a great leader? Being strategic, create engagement in the team,
okay.
Get results,
okay.
In fact, because everybody celebrates when things are going okay.
Okay. And when you're doing those things and you're exceeding your expectations, how good do you feel?
I feel great, and I should also include in this list decision making.
Okay. All right. So if you were free to make that decision right now, what would your decision be about this particular individual on your team?
right now is make a progression, plan his leaving of the team, in fact.
Okay. How does that feel when you say that out loud?
I feel relieved,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
because this is something that we are just delaying
Yeah.
because of this pandemic.
Right.
And I need to now plan this.
Okay. So where is your clarity on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not at all, 10 being very clear about where you want to take this?
9 probably.
Okay. All right. So how does that feel to you? You're at a 9 right now in clarity.
I feel that this decision should be taken before, but I didn't do because I wanted to, my level 4 heart, as you told,
So then
was asking me to try.
so what did you learn about yourself?
I learned about myself that I'm a kind of, I try to save people from the.
That's a wonderful thing to acknowledge. Now you know. So there's no
Not
need.
only him, but in general, I give chances, I try, I negotiate. In my marriage also, I do this.
Right. And so that's a good thing to acknowledge. And now you know for next time. And it's a good growth point.
Just for me to be in peace with the hard decision I'm going to take, because I have been criticized in the past for my decisions, my hard decisions. And I have, yes,
So it makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense that you would have some hesitancy about stepping into that decision-making role. No wonder you would be feeling some fear about that. Yeah.
Yes, I have been judged a lot because of my decision making.
Yeah. Okay, good. So we're going to end right there. Thank you, Simone.
I thank you.
Coaches, thank you. Simone, first of all, thank you for being vulnerable with us. It's a big deal to allow yourself to come on in front of a lot of people. Coaches, thank you for stepping into the arena. And you are the way that we learn. So whether you're doing something fantastic as a coach or whether you're struggling with something as a coach is equally valuable. And I would even go so far as to say is the things that we struggle with are more valuable because it helps us see in ourselves where we might struggle. So I'm going to give individual feedback to each of you. And I want to say in general, what was the one skill that, and I'll just put this out there if you want to chat it or whatever, what was the one skill that you would have liked to have seen more of throughout this entire coaching session, including me? So put it in the chat. Yes.
Barbara, can I make a comment?
Sure.
Acknowledge is a good thing, but validation, I don't feel well when people validate me a lot.
Okay.
I don't like.
And so that might be your discomfort with feelings. So
it seems to me that it's not natural. That is something that is, it seems to me that is not truth.
So let me demonstrate one. Simone, it would make perfect sense that you would have some fear and trepidation about really letting this guy go because your heart sees where he's struggling and you want to help him so much. And it would be great if you could make it all work out because in the end, you're someone who really values a team that works together and you just want to see them work together. So no wonder you're struggling with this. No wonder you feel frustrated. And it would make sense that you would take some time before making this very difficult decision. So how did that feel?
That feel more natural.
Okay. That's because I've been doing it for 10 years. So you guys, that's why when we practice validation, it starts to come out much more smoothly as we go. So it's practicing on your dog, your friends, your family, anybody that you possibly can, okay? So I could have done way more validation. I will give my own critique of myself. I could have validated way more. I was trying to demonstrate some other things in there, like blending the piece about her seeing herself as a leader and whatever, but we'll get to that in a second. Okay, Regina, I love that you show up to almost every one of these things and you jump in and you freaking do it. It's amazing. Go, Regina. Okay. Now, there are a couple things here. You demonstrated for us the perfect example of getting caught up in the client's story, Regina. So I want to ask you if you can tell me what you think I'm talking about here.
Well, you are right there, because I actually, got into it, and I felt she had a lot to say about the issue, and I wanted to hear it all.
Yes,
So,
yes.
yeah.
So what was interesting was Greg's first question. If you guys go back and listen, Greg's first question helped her get focused. What do you want from the session today? And she actually said, I want clarity. I forgot, I didn't write it down directly, but she wanted her energy level to go up about this whole thing. And that was the perfect lead-in for you. But your first question was a fixer question. And you kind of you said something like, what do you need to do in order to make this right, or something like that. Your second question was also a fixer question, and you kind of went into the problem solving mode. So it's very easy to do, because Simone is very easy to listen to, and she's a good storyteller, and it's a perfect example of contagious energy. So I would call this, Regina, for you, I'd like to see you practice more detached involvement.
Okay.
So while you're listening deeply, I want you to go to what's underneath that river current. What's the current underneath what you're seeing on the surface of the river? The surface of the river was all about the guy, all about this, all about that. I want you to get down to what's underneath. And the easiest way to do so is to get to those feelings. Ask about those feelings. Go to the feelings and validate, because we could have spent hours with her going around and around, and it's not about solving this problem. It's about, we want to coach the energy, not the story. Does that make sense?
Yes, sure. Thank
Yeah,
you.
because you then did ask some other really good questions that were in there, and I'm trying to find my notes. Of course, they're all over the place now. You did ask some other great questions that you were going into some feelings after that. You kind of waved in and out of going into the problem solving. It's also hard to be the first person to go, because you're trying to get more details. But I felt that she had given us enough details that you didn't need to ask any more about how to fix it, right? So for you, I want to see you get to those feelings, get to what's underneath, and then also so that you can validate, because this is why it took her a long time to shift. She was so stuck in her brain. She's like stuck in first gear of a car. If you remember back in the day when we had to shift manually, she couldn't get her gears going, because validation is like the juice that helps us move on from the pain or whatever, right? So we have to get to the feelings first to go back up into problem solve later. And also, Regina, I want to see you keep practicing those open-ended, empowering questions, yeah? Yeah, great. Okay, great listening skills too, by the way, which you demonstrated. You really listened. Okay. Okay, Melanie. Yes, so you had an opportunity to come in. It's always easier as the second coach. I could see that you listened well, because you did a beautiful summary that was focused on feelings. And it was focused around Simone's level 4, using the words caring, empathy, things like that. You did a great validation right off the bat that helped shift her already. So you were taking her into those places. At one point, you did go back into problem solving. We'll have to go back and look in the chat. So I want to make sure that you also are sticking with your staying attuned to the client. This piece, where do you think I was going when I interrupted you to say, no, just tell her you're going to explore?
I don't know.
Yeah, like, why'd I do that?
I remember you saying it before, but I don't remember. I don't remember why.
Okay, so you had asked permission, to go somewhere with it, right?
Right.
What do you already know about Simone in terms of her ability to stay stuck in the story and not really want to process her feelings?
That she tends to do that, to do the
That's
story.
right. So she would be what I call a little bit slippery, right? She's very good at keeping things. She wants to keep things here. She's not going to explore. It's painful. She's got a lot of level 4. So it's painful to go to those feelings, that the catabolic of frustration with him, with the situation, wanting to help him. So let's stay up here in the brain and problem solve. So when you ask permission, now that to me is like, and I know we teach that at IPEC, right? But as you mature as coaches, you are in command of the session. It's not that you're setting the agenda, but you are allowed to command and declare, let's go here now, because of your expertise as a coach. So instead of asking, is it all right if we explore blah, blah, blah? Now you're kind of giving her this choice to kind of go, I don't think I want to. Most clients will say yes, but we don't want to give them that out. So step into your coach power, go there. And you did a beautiful thing, which was you gave her two choices. You said, let's explore, let's explore and go right into it. And you get your choice of which one to go into. And by the way, that she ended up back in problem solving.
I know. I thought about that later. I should have done the other one first.
That's right. So exactly. So thank you for that, because it showed us, that's a good thing not to do, right?
Right.
So you guys, I want you to think about, yes, we learn these skills at IPEC, and as you get better at being present with the client, you can step into your coach power, which means not to have power over the client, but it means when you see what's needed for the client and you want to help them, see themselves in a greater light, you are allowed to do that. The other thing to remember, go ahead, Melanie.
I just wanted to share something. I coach every time I get a chance because I want to learn and I love your feedback. And several times I jump into fixing. I try to fix. And I always remember you saying they can't move forward until they validate and acknowledge and till they get out of the lower level, you can't move forward. You can't imagine forward. You can't move forward until you do that. And so that's really stuck in my brain all these weeks, all these months, hearing you say that.
Yes.
And so I felt like I did better with that this time, because in my head, I'm always thinking, Barb says,
yes,
move on the list. You know.
Great job. And remember, it's really not our job to solve their problem.
Right.
It's not our job to fix it. We don't even have to finish and put a bow on it.
Right.
I feel like I was trying to put a little bow on it with me. Like I did a lot of things that I could have done way better. I wanted to get that leadership thing to her. And that was my thing. I wanted to help her get in touch with her leadership thing. I could have explored her feelings. We could have gone in a million directions, but I didn't have to put a bow on it. But I was trying to a little bit to show you guys to do that. But remember, all we want to do is mirror their energy for them to see themselves. We don't even want to shift their energy. Right, Greg?
Yeah, that was a big lesson that I keep taking away. You say it at the end of every session is our jobs as coaches is to act like a mirror for our clients. Listen, because we're on such a time constraint, I want to try and do something new. I don't know, Barb, can I make you the co-host and let you shut it down? Maybe you can just stick around. Okay, let me
Absolutely. Let's do it.
out. Hold on.
I love to be in charge.
No. It's even better. I love it. All right, Barb, I'm making you the host. And
okay.
You have it.
Awesome. I'm the host now, baby. All right, let's rock and roll this thing. Later, Greg.
Shut it down.
Okay. Get out of here. Goodbye. We love you.
Love you.
Okay. What questions do you have so far, people?
Okay. So, I noticed the way you kept bringing her back to her feelings and not letting her get caught up in the story. And you had to do it over and over again.
Yes.
And you seem to do it without frustrating the client. I'm not sure how you did that.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah. So here's what I do, Marianne. I have an overarching vision of the client as I'm coaching them, not only in one session or in 1 minute, but in the overarching coaching engagement. And what I hold in my space is their potential. And also I hold not only their potential, but their struggles. And what we're trying to do is help them meet themselves and love and accept themselves on both sides. You notice that Simone had a tough time acknowledging her leadership skills.
Yes.
And she used the word should a lot. She was shoulding on herself, which isn't nice. So should is a combination of could and shame, right? We don't want to be shaming ourselves. We don't want our clients to shame themselves. So while I'm having this overarching vision of hers, I know that I need to get to her heart, because she's caught up in the headspace where she's going to go around and around and around. It's a merry-go-round to nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
So and you notice I challenged her many times. I called her and I interrupted and I, intruded or whatever. And I was like, nope. So I am listening deeply for the feelings words. And when I don't get one, if I've asked for one, that's what I'm doing.
Okay.
I'm kind of keying myself in to listen for those words. And I want to help her get back in touch with who she is at a deeper level. I did not let her get away with taking us on a river raft trip.
Right.
Away into this. Do you see that?
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Sure. Yes. Other questions? Unmute yourself. Yes, Marika.
Yeah, so I have another question just in regards to what you just answered. So how do you know when to stop her? Because in the beginning there, it's important to get the information and to see where it's going. And for me, I struggled a little bit. Where exactly was the point where she said, stop right here, and this is now we're talking about your feelings. Let's get to your heart.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying for Regina. I wanted to let it go to see how long it would take for Regina to intrude, because intruding is that secret quiet skill that we forget about. And so we can intrude anytime that we're starting to hear repeat information or information that you're realizing is not core to where we want to go. Her goal was to shift her own energy right up front, and then she's giving details about a million zillion things. And the way that we do it is, and you saw me do it, you saw Greg do it, is simply, just a second. I'm going to stop you for a second. We're just saying it kindly. We're saying it nicely. Sometimes I might even say a comment like, I'm going to stop you. Thank you for these awesome details, or something like that. Thank you for this information, but I want to get back to you. Because it's really, and I might even say it's easy to get caught up in the story, right? So you can simply come in there and intrude. So if I'm repeating I might repeat about the feelings. It's like, if they continue talking about the same thing over and over again, then I know they haven't shifted. So I need to change it up to get them to a different place, and which is usually to get to their heart or their gut. Asking them, we could have asked her, what does your intuition tell you? Something like that. I don't think she was ready for that yet at this stage, but yeah. Does that help?
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Who else? Yeah, Lisa.
Barbara, first of all, I love your shirt.
Oh, thank you. It's a dress.
I just have to say that.
Free people.
I love
Free
your
people.
shirt.
Okay.
And I don't need an exact number, but as a new coach, I'm like always looking for like that validation of about how many sessions in, would you say like, your first 50 to 100 sessions, did you feel confident about your coaching? Because when I sit and I watch you, I'm like, oh man, I wouldn't even, so I know you're 10 years in and, but about, when did you feel like
yesterday?
Okay, great. Excellent. So now I have 9 more years. Thanks a lot. Yeah. Okay, got it.
Honestly, here's the thing. And I'm going to say this to you, and I want you to really take this in for a second. Trust that whoever you're coaching right now at the level at which you coach is the perfect client for you, and they are getting full value.
Okay. That's got to be my mantra.
Yes. It doesn't matter how good you are. None of that matters. There is a universal law of connection that happens with the clients come to you at the right time. So you can coach even when you're not confident. You don't have to be confident to be a good coach. And you'll start to see, patterns in things that people say. You'll start to see yourself in different ways. So it's really okay to not be confident. That's not even our total goal. It feels good to be confident, but it's the practice of the skills. And I would say it's the recognition of, they're in their head. It's head versus heart is really simple to do. Mm-hmm. I've noticed, or I forgot, I used to put a Post-it note next to my phone or laptop or whatever, that said validation, to remind myself to validate. So
Okay.
it does take a little time. So I would say it took me, I don't know, maybe a good year
Okay.
before I really felt like
fair.
I was getting it.
Okay.
And
Barb,
I still have times, you guys, I still have times I hang up and I'm like, I could have done better.
Okay.
Okay.
and Barb, the most powerful question that made me shift, it was when you asked me that if being good person makes me a good leader. How this, I don't remember well the question, but you asked me what makes you being good like this,
Yeah.
transforming a good, that it was the question that raised me there.
Yeah.
That I'm not being good, a good leader if I do this.
Yeah, that's right. Right. So that's why I want to get back to the core of who you are, not the story. Yeah. Okay. What other questions do you have?
Barb, I have a question. This is Shamala.
Yes. Hi, Shamala.
First of all, thank you so much for your powerful feedback. I really enjoy these sessions. My question is about what Simone shared with you in the end, that is not liking to be validated. And you mentioned that it's because the coaches, we are new and it comes with experience. My question is it something to do with experience, or is it something to do with some deep-rooted, strong belief that the client holds?
It could be both. Great. I mean, very intuitive of you. It could be both. She might be uncomfortable with it in that it's almost the sort of thing that she's got to accept those feelings inside herself, and she doesn't want to. I don't want to feel frustrated. I don't want to feel uncertain about myself as a leader. I don't want to feel that self-doubt. So she might be uncomfortable. So the validation might feel like, I don't know what to do with that, right? So the more we can get our clients comfortable with those catabolic feelings and make sure they know that catabolic feelings are perfectly okay, they're perfectly normal as humans as in general, and that specifically they're normal for them given their past, given their situation, etc. So it could be either one. And the validation really is, it's more than just experience. It's the actual practice of it over and over and over again. And, you know, they're the main sentences. It's perfectly understandable that you feel, and then you put in the feeling. It makes sense you feel, no wonder you feel, or, you know, whatever. Or given the fact that, and then you put in the situation, it makes sense you feel. So I actually used to have those written out, and I would just fill in. I would make it easy on yourself. You don't have to get fancy with these, you know, I was doing it off the cuff. You don't need to do that. Same thing with the ELI. When you're giving your debriefs of the ELI, you can quote the questions exactly because the client doesn't remember the phrasing of the question. So yeah, so it could be that the client themselves have a discomfort with it, but the more that you show how comfortable you are. See, one of the tricky things with validation is we coaches ourselves are uncomfortable with catabolic feelings. We don't like to see our clients in pain.
Colleagues, I need to leave to other call.
Okay,
Vicky,
thank you,
very much.
Simone. Thank you.
Hello, I have a question.
Sure.
So, two questions. Is it possible, sometimes I notice like people just like to wanting to like, you know, go to the action rather going to the feeling. So in the moment, even though their energy is like negative or catabolic, and should I like I'm always also like trying to like get out of their this negative feeling and then really, you know, then wanting to talk about their action plan. But like, sometimes people just like in the beginning they're like, it's all about making a plan, it's all about taking action. So in that case, where do you think is the best?
Yeah, so the thing is, Ichiko, we don't want to change their feeling. We don't want to take them out of their catabolic feelings. That's not our job. It's not our job to make our clients feel better.
Oh, really?
What?
Oh my gosh. I was sometimes like worrying about like, oh my gosh, like,
it's a fallacy. Like, that we want to make them feel better. That's not true.
Thank you.
What is our job? Our job
Thank
is
you for validating me.
Our job is to help them see themselves in a different light. and exploring those catabolic feelings, this might be the only opportunity they have with you as the coach to allow themselves to have these feelings. That's why validating them helps them not feel like a freak or feel abnormal or whatever.
Yeah.
So the key is that they might need to explore those catabolic feelings for the entire session and never come to the solution, or for 5 sessions in a row and never come to the solution. We do not have to wrap up the session in a nice little bow. Their home play might be, what would you like to do with what we learned in this session? The home play might be something like, I want to explore more of these feelings and how I can become more comfortable with them, right? It doesn't have to be the actual solution to what they're presenting as their issue, okay?
Gotcha. Thank you. So that makes me feel better, because I was like sometimes worrying about like, oh my gosh, so this is what we're going to work on. Like, I want to make sure we are going to have a plan. So it's hard. Another question I have.
Yeah.
I have this client right now. So he's a man. He's very like logical person. And he only feels good when he accomplished things like fully. Now we're working on his like, working on his stuff. Like really, he has like, okay, let's just talk about his stuff. So he has this like 20 years of package or boxes, piles he hasn't even like touched. And now he's working with me and really like unpacking the boxes and and open up all the piles he has. And like he once a week we talk about it, and he's only like 2 box or 1 box at the time, once a week he's working on it. But it doesn't make him feel better even when he accomplished that. And then I'm like, hey, great job. Like, so how did you do? Like, take a picture and send it to me. Like, in the beginning of the call, we tried to like, talk about it. And like, I try to like celebrate and acknowledge. Right. And I asked him, how does that make you feel? Like, how are you feeling? Like, it must be huge for you. Like, I try to do that, but like, it feels good. That's it. Like, he doesn't go.
You're cheerleading. You're cheerleading for something that he feels is a small accomplishment because he hasn't finished all the boxes.
Yeah.
So he's doing a should on himself, that he's not allowing himself to enjoy small celebrations. So this might be taking it down a notch and just going, okay, and accepting what he says. Yeah, it feels okay, but it's not great. Okay, well, let's explore that. So what would make you feel great? Well, if I finished all the boxes. Well, so that means you're going to delay your happiness for the next 4 months until you finish all the boxes. I mean, you can challenge him and get to the nugget of what that's about. And also those boxes might be an external thing, more of an external example of what's really going on internally for him, feeling chaos, feeling, so there might be something underneath there that's a little bit more. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. That helps.
So watch that positivity. It's not like, yay, you put your pants on, no, it's, we don't have to cheerlead every little thing. We want to meet them where they are in their energy. And
really?
You want to meet them. You don't want to come to every call all chipper and cheery. You want to, if he's like, yeah, I'm really struggling, you're not going to go, oh my God, that's okay. We can make it better. You want to slow your, look at her.
Oh my God, you make me love so much.
You want to slow down your voice and go, well, yeah, and you want to validate them. Well, so what's going on that you're not feeling so great? They tell you, what are the feelings that come up? They tell you the feelings. Well, no wonder you're struggling and you're not feeling. We slow it down. We do a validation, meet them where they are.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Awesome.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Have a good one, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Lisa, did you have your hand up?
I do.
Okay. A couple people, Tanya, Lisa. Yeah. So Tanya, why don't we start with you?
Okay. Hi, Barbara. Thank you for everything you did today. This is my first time here observing. Cool. So it was really fun.
Hi, Melanie.
But what I noticed was when, I was nervous going into this because I was like, oh, what am I, what's going to happen? And when Simone was really getting into the story and just like going on, I was like, okay, the guy's resistant, and I got lost. I'm like, what does she want? It's like, what does she want? Yeah. And then Greg stepped in and said that to her. And I was like, oh yeah, she wants to raise her energy. So my thought was like, okay, bring it back to the energy part. And I was like, where's her energy now? And I had put in the chat, my thought would be, what she said 5. She's like, I want to be at 5.
Yep.
Right away, she said, I want to be at 5. And I'm like, okay, so what would it look like for you to be at 5? But then you were like, well, we need to, I feel like I went into fix mode too. Like,
That's right.
well, what is it going to look like at 5? And before I
Right.
even,
so it's about timing. It's about timing, Tanya. So we don't need to take them into, she could not have gone into level 5 at the beginning of the coaching session. No way. So it's not going to take us anywhere. We can't get there. So we've got to explore where she is, what's going on with her level 4. And if you notice, it's really about her self-doubt. This whole situation is causing her self-doubt. So that's more of the catabolic 1 and 2. So what's going on where she's experiencing self-doubt and all that first. And our goal is not to raise her energy. Her goal is to raise our energy. That's not our goal as the coach. Right. So just because that's her goal, we don't have to make that our goal. So the thing, because what we want to remember as a coach is we simply want to reflect back to her what she is showing us is going on for her so that she can see herself more truthfully. Right. So she can see herself more clearly. And then she can make different decisions and decide when she wants to start taking her energy up. So it might be that we have to explore that level 4 quite a bit. It might be we have to explore more of that level 2 frustration. It might be more of that level 1 self-doubt before we can bring her up into level 5. Okay.
Yeah, that was my next, was what would have been the approach then to be like, well, you want to be at level 5, but I wouldn't have known all this other stuff if we hadn't all those other millions of questions in there.
Right. So we can ask, what will that do for you? What will level 5 do for you? So you get a clearer picture. Okay. How come you don't have that right now? What's going on that you don't have that right now? Okay. Yeah. And then explore the feelings behind it, not the situation. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Barbara, I was just wanted to know the art of the ELI. Do you do that like several times throughout the year? Because just timing wise.
I do.
Okay.
Yep. Don't even worry.
Cool.
Yep.
Okay.
So I do it like 3 or 4 times a year.
Excellent.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. What other questions do you have? Anybody? Yeah, Charlotte, hi.
Yeah, so I felt so much compassion and so much, I just felt like she was such an amazing leader, just in how she cared. And I was thinking about, boy, if it was me coaching, I would have the urge to say, gosh, you just seem like an amazing leader and so compassionate. But I'm kind of weighing the lines between, it seems like that's a judgment thing because that's my opinion.
That's right.
So I want to say that, but I feel like in some ways, how can I turn that into, or say it in a different way to make it an acknowledgement, validation?
So I call it empty cheerleading is what you're describing. And it's kind of where I was going with Ichko in the same way, which is that when you're going, yeah, you're a champion, you're a leader, you're this, you're that, but she's not feeling it, now there's a huge disconnect. So now you are not meeting her energy. So it's all in the timing. She wasn't ready to hear what a great leader she was. Why? Because we found out at the very end, there is self-doubt. This did cause self-doubt for her. So we've got to be very sensitive. That's our urge. And what that is, Charlotte, what you're trying to do is make her feel better. So you can see that she's a great leader. That's great. We want to help her see it in herself. So we got to get comfortable with her being uncomfortable. And we got to be comfortable with our being uncomfortable. And we just have to listen. And it's not always about championing and cheerleading. We don't want to do empty cheerleading. You've got to explore where she is first. So that's why I know a lot of you were chatting in the chat about it. And I was kind of not wanting to go. I just wanted to ask her questions to help her see it for herself rather than me telling her. And it's kind of like, I knight you a fantastic, I have declared you're a leader. Yes, it's an opinion that we don't want to share.
Yeah. Is there a point where there is an appropriate to share that?
Absolutely. And that's what, after we've explored the catabolic feelings, gotten to acknowledge what she knows she is true. That's why I was asking those questions. What do you know to be absolutely true about you at your core? And she was like, I know I'm a great leader. Like, Of course I'm a great leader, right? So it's first we were exploring some of the other pieces in there throughout through Regina, Melanie, and then me. We're getting to what was that underneath first. So we've got to do that exploration and processing of those feelings first. Yeah.
Okay.
And then
Thank you.
asking the questions to help her see it, not you declare it.
Yeah.
Does that help at all?
It does. It does. So I knew enough to say I need to keep my mouth shut, but I feel like, gosh, I really want her to know how much I'm feeling in that leadership that's coming across. Because
and that's your agenda.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Melanie just wrote in the chat, the thing under the thing. Yeah. So that's where we got to go first. So it's kind of like be in that place with her to explore what the struggle is. And both things are true, Charlotte. Yes, she can be a great leader and she can have self-doubt. But she can't see she can't see the great leader because she's in the swamp with the fog. She can't see it in herself right now. So we got to get in there, clear the fog, clear the struggle, clear the catabolic feelings first. So then she has the clear vision of who she is. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
No? Okay. All right.
The other one that came in mind, I don't know how relevant it is in this scenario, is she was trying to be a great leader for this gentleman.
Yeah.
But I was to think about the rest of her team.
Right. That would have been a great thing to bring up, that she's kind of neglecting the rest of the team as she's putting all her energy and attention and then getting drained. That's why I was trying to go and ask her about her energy level in terms of wellness energy, because she's taken on so much responsibility. Help her see, wow, I'm really drained from this and I don't have enough left over for the rest of the team. Yeah, but that's a good observation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, I've got a couple minutes left. Who else has a question? Anybody? Shout it out. Make me stop singing, please. Okay, looks like we're pretty done, I guess. Yeah? Any other questions? Going once, going twice? I always wanted to be an auctioneer when I was a kid. And we got going once, going twice. Okay. You guys, it was so lovely to spend time with you. All right. Have a great day, everybody, or night, wherever you are in the world. Mwah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.